And hello everyone and welcome to this Custom Track League Division 4 match. I'm Scoped and I'll be your caster for today alongside Lawrence. Hello Lawrence.
Hello. Just had to turn my mic on.
Yeah, it's probably better for my co-caster to have a mic on, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, and I bet it's better if you don't drive off the track in one. Just kidding.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't even play this game anymore. You're not allowed to make these jokes at me. Anyway, either way, yeah. So today we have State to State versus Eternal Impulse. Actually, a match important for both of these teams, seeing as for one team, State to State, it's the ticket to a perfect season, 8-0. Seeing as there were only 5 teams in Division 4 this season, and for EI, if they win this, it's a potential chance at second seed going into the playoffs, a slightly better position with hosting 2 matches instead of 1. So pretty good, pretty important match for both of these teams, even though they're both secured for playoffs. So Lawrence, why don't you start us off with the Eternal Impulse lineup for this match?
Yes, of course. And I see Striker in chat saying that wait until our secret weapon is in lineup. But I'm quite disappointed. If this lineup is correct and there's no Noviak, I don't see the secret weapon. There's no secret weapon here. I'm seeing a lot of I'm so sad. Like you guys need to play him. There's no reason why. He's like so good. And
The glazing is crazy.
I'm gonna keep on glazing this whole match. Like, why isn't Noviak playing? He's literally your best player, and he's not here. Like, come on. You get him back in playoffs, and I assume it'll be alright. That's all I have to say. Y'all will do fine, I think. Let's go to the other team.
Yeah, but to finishing touch on the eye, yeah, no Noviak, no Twitcher, definitely 2 really good players this season that are not on there, so it's going to be a pretty tough match. Whereas State to State actually have, well, this lineup is wrong. Volley should be replaced with JC, but no worries either way. For this State to State, this lineup, FB30, JP, Jaden, JC, and Key bagging. Really strong lineup overall. For the core 3 of FB30, JP, Jaden have played most of the season with Bali, and they're the lineup that have been dominating this season overall. The last match with EI ended up with them only winning by 2, though I would argue it was a stronger EI lineup, but a stronger State-to-State lineup as well. So who knows? Maybe we're in for a closer match than we think. But yeah, State-to-State, a really strong 3 runners here. JC probably going to play a bit more of the mid pack for this match with Key, although maybe not as experienced as Striker bagging. I should be a pretty close match bagging regardless, so it'll be interesting to see how this match develops. Since this is the second match between these 2 teams of the season, gotta remind our audience that there are 12 tracks that will not be available to be repicked this match with GBA BC4, Sky High Island, and a whole bunch of others, unfortunately, the stream cut it. Sandstone Island.
Wait.
No, it's fine. Sandstone Cliffs, DSBC, DS TikTok, Stroben, Skyline Flying Kingdom, Glimmer Express Trains, Bowser Jr.'s Fort, GBA Ribbon Road, and Lost Fortress. All of these tracks are not available to be repicked under the threat of a 20-point penalty. So it should be interesting to see both these teams on more tracks that they're not quite used to. I see a lot of tracks that are pretty much staples for both these teams. BC4 obviously being one of them, although it's more so of a player dependence in staple, depending on like which players are in the lineup. For example, Twitcher for EI, though I know a lot of STS players also enjoy this particular BC. But either way, perfect timing by our players here. 10 players in the room. We can immediately start. So before we go on to our first race, Lawrence, what is your prediction for this little match?
Well, first off, I'd like to tell Clyde to please turn on the stream. We need your stream.
Would be very much appreciated. I shall ping him right away in the rep chat.
Looking for a good match today, however. I think STS wins. They go undefeated this season.
Yeah, STS is definitely the favorite going into this match. I will say, no matter what the gambling tells you here, 5K by Striker going into his own team. Pretty confident though. I appreciate the confidence going into this. Thwomp Swamp from STS, Candy Coaster from EI. Pretty expected picks overall. Thwomp Swamp more so of a flat, really heavy running track for the. I would argue there's probably the stronger runners on STS, and Candy Coaster being an EI staple for pretty much forever here. Let's be honest.
Oh man, I can remember like day one playing that.
Yeah, it's been pretty much. It's been an EI backup for it's been EI stats for years at this point.
Yeah,
But Thwomp
back when you
Swamp's
were
gonna
playing
be.
with Bowser and Sparkster.
Don't remind me of that really cursed lineup here. But yeah, so we only have FB30's POV for now. Hopefully, Clyde
Yep.
will have his stream up by the time. We do have a bagger POV in
Yep.
Striker if we need a bit of a look into the bagging war for now. But should be a pretty easy run from the start for FB30, especially on a track like Swamp, track that he knows
Yep.
fairly well.
And Striker just pulled a golden is gonna still be even as we head into the 30-second mark when shot can be pulled.
Striker is slightly ahead in the bagging war. We'll keep you guys updated onto that. A pretty free run for FB so far. I wish he would flip the camera around more so we could see if anyone is behind him. Someone trimming up
It's top two,
really
top
quick.
three for SCS, but EI just pulled shot. Let's put that on the screen. Yeah, they just had it and they
Oh,
used and a build
and they
dodge.
immediately used it.
Yep.
Unfortunate from Striker getting started out here, but I appreciate the shock early, realizing that STS is in top 3 on such a strong track, and they realize that they need to make that call early on. Solfi now into first here, the EI secret weapon in first after dodging with the bill.
Yep.
So we'll have to see if he can keep up first here, but that shroom from FB could be really strong going
Could
into
get into
this last
first here. We barely missed the tree as well. Very nice. Hitting that tree would have lost like 3 seconds.
Yeah, V back in first, though. Ooh, nice
Chocolates at the
set of
moment.
counters. Oh, and the star dropped by Striker as he was starting last lap, actually landing right on
Wow.
F lap there.
And Striker's just chaining 9 already. I think he must have pulled.
I don't think so. No, he just respawned. So Striker probably just realizing
No, but he's going
that.
for it now.
Oh, he's going forward. You're absolutely right here. So should be a shock late for STS here. Not that they should need it too much. Granted, seeing the
Yeah.
lead that FB has is going to be dependent on what dodges are held in the back.
Very clean
We'll
first. Striker just pulled the last second shock here. Fortunately, we don't
don't
have another POV. See what
I don't
happened in
believe
mid pack.
I don't believe I've seen anyone dodge in the back anyway, so probably just a way to cut off any STS members from taking the cuts. I
Yep.
did see JC getting last, so we get one
Yep.
last from STS. We'll have to see what the mid pack looks like. Unfortunately, the issue of having someone run the entire race in our POV is that we can't really see the mid pack as much. But we'll have
Let's
to see
see.
here.
We got 9, 1, 3, 5, 8. Is that right?
135, that is absolutely correct here.
And the bagger
So
point seems like
it's gone to STS. So
Alright.
135.89 for STS here. Pretty good race
Let's
on their
have-
track pick.
so going to race 2. What track do you think they'll pick? I'm thinking a Queen. Only I knew what tracks they played.
I would be surprised to not
Christmas
see a
Court. Yeah.
Siberian Chateau. Actually, I would think more so, seeing this lineup, but I could be wrong.
Oh, Mansion.
Mansion of
No
Mans.
Alex
That
in
was
the lineup either.
That was not on my bingo card, but it is an interesting pick here. Big Nature City for evens. Not really surprising coming from EI, another classic track pick that's picked by a lot of teams in this spot. But yeah, STS, even with that early shock, they're just able to keep up fairly well throughout the rest of the track. FB able to stay in first pretty much the entire race after getting a shroom second there for the cut at the end of lap 2. And Big Nature City is going to be chosen here. I would not be shocked to see both 5 and 8s go around here, trying to just get a hold of those bottom spots really quickly. We know how strong Shock can be in this track, and getting a bill early can secure that really easily for either Key or Striker.
Wow, and he just said a lot of words that I didn't listen to because I was trying to pull up Clyde's stream.
All right, perfect. Uh,
It
Either
is
way,
not
no,
up. It'll be up next race, but Striker going forward. You can't see it. It's trying to
yeah, just trying
strive.
to hit out at the start, but getting hit out himself. So
Okay.
unfortunately, there a bit of
Bit of a hold up. I think
bumping around.
someone from EI is in one. I actually for if it's Clyde. I think that's Clyde's.
I do believe that is Clyde. Yes, Clyde shrooming up really
And it's
early
top
there
two
with
as well
Sherman
for
second.
yeah. Oh, I think he just pulled shock already. He's going forward. He's running away.
That was insanely quick for Big Nature City. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, Striker just turning in 10 on our other POV there, but that is absolutely an early STS shock, so it should be pretty secure for STS here
Oh,
as long as we can get a
we have our Clyde POV up now. He's goldening up
right,
in
perfect
4.
goldening into mid spot already as Brent I believe Brent's
Oh,
gonna get
it seemed
a,
like a pretty weird call there. It seemed like he
a
was not ready for the blue.
small lack of communication from Brand, unfortunately
Yeah, but
hitting
they
out
are
his
3-4-5-6 still. Not too bad, but actually, I think it is with Key having shock for STS.
yeah, that should just allow the STS members to shock everyone after the set in mid spots and just allow the bottom spot of STS to really get any
Oh, and
dodges in.
Sherman's
But
a TC.
JC actually shrooming really early on, surprisingly. Not getting past the TC, I believe, so should be fine for
Now,
now.
if
We
any
do
of
see
the
as
STS members know to respawn here, respawn shortcut, this race is over. I don't
could
know
be
if they
pretty
do.
interesting. Doesn't seem like it. No one's going for that respawn. Jaden actually going for cuts.
Clyde
Could
as
be
well.
could be a Could be a call after shot after the cut, and no, it's not. Okay, we're just letting Clyde take the cut in 3 there, having one last room, and now he has to deal with a green and another, actually another green from FB in second here,
Yeah, I'm just
trailing that, trying
watching.
to.
Oh, and he
Oh,
gets
nice
hit.
back, nice back from FB there. Really
Oh, and a
good
shock just
job.
came out. And he got hit into his. Oh, but Mr. Fartbomb pulled the ground star and he's gonna secure, I think, top 2.
Should be at the very least with Jaden by his side. Really good
Yeah.
job from both these players anyway, able
Oh,
to.
looks like top 3 as well. JC's in 3rd. Or, is that top 4?
That is JP, Jaden, JC in 4th. No, you're right. This is top 4. My
Wow.
goodness.
Crazy.
Shock doing insane work for STS. They're getting JP and JC up there. I think JC went for JC or JP went for the cannon route, which is why he did not spot it early on. You rarely see anyone go for that line, but I suppose they just figured that it was safer since no one goes for it, no items to be backed upon you. So yeah, good job to STS playing that really well, keeping a good mix of top and bottom spots,
Very,
and they're
very
now
nice software.
up by around should be around 38 points or 38 points or 36 points depending on bagger point. I believe Striker
It should
at
be
least Striker
1-1.
actually got it.
Yep.
Yep, Striker got it, so they should be up by 36 in 2 races. Great job on their opponent's track pick.
I'm really looking forward to a Sandy Clock Tower pick coming from STS.
Oh my god. There's gonna be a mess to cast with the ending, but it'll be quite interesting of a show if it is picked.
I don't know, it's just so
Not
easy because the race is decided after the first turn, so.
and it seems switch. It seems to be actually a mention of madness on the side of STS here with Twin
Twin
Peaks
Peaks from
on
EI.
EI side. That's an
Wow.
interesting track pick. I don't believe I've casted a Twin Peaks race yet. But obviously, the most important part is going to be that double shroomer. If you're able to carry up triple shrooms into that cut, take it lap 2 or even lap 1, and just keep a shroom in a high spot, it can be absolutely game changing for the track there. And Twin Peaks is actually the
Yep.
one chosen. So let's see here. The Mr. Bean not favoring Mansion of Madness today, it seems.
Nope. Instead, this track.
Alright, so let's see here. Clyde having a pretty important slot here,
And
having
the
to
full
try and
strip shrooms,
compel.
he's got to break into pack. I think he's got to. Actually, no. STS is kind of falling out. And see,
A lot,
Jade with a TC as well in the back. So
yeah, a lot of bumping at the start. JP dumping a fib onto Sherm and Clyde, but both of them dodging
yeah,
it. And
if Clyde
Clyde's already.
can, if Clyde
Oh,
can make it to the shortcut with 2 shrooms, I think this is a good race. But losing one here.
yeah, you would
Oh, and he
absolutely.
just.
Oh no, maybe a lack of communication from Sherm, but yeah,
Yeah.
now both players in 3-4 having items to take the
Oh,
cut,
and
and you
Sherm gets
really
hit
wish.
out. JP is hitting everyone, I think.
Yeah, JP's having a field day with everyone right now. Granted, one of these
Oh, it's
snipes
gonna be
was
bad.
from.
I feel he's gonna go into cut, and then Clyde's gonna stream into him, I think. Actually, no, they're far enough away.
No, I think unironically it could have been a play for either.
No,
Depends on who was in the store actually.
it was EI, so
Yeah,
that's
okay,
fine
never
play.
mind. Good play by FB not to wait then.
Yeah.
Ooh, a bit of bumping, then Bran getting into one here, FB trying to contest it as much as possible, but
Ooh, he
lagged
gets hit
back
out.
up. Great trail, and now Bran gone into first. No shrooms for anyone in the mid spot so far. Clyde into third, trying to
Striker in
support his
10,
teammates.
looking likely to
JC the
push
only
up
one.
here.
JC the only one up there. Yeah, Striker is gone 10 by this point, and those trip reds, JC is gone, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to evade it as much as possible, but you can't really escape it. They may not be as deadly as an MK World, but those reds can't really break them in this stream. So that
Striker
is
with
now
Bill.
top two, but FB immediately striking back there with a great green snipe bomb
Oh,
back hitting a member of STS. Could not quite see the name tag in time.
1-3. Oh,
Uh,
Brand got a crazy snipe out.
but a lot of people just trying to hit each other out. We see at least one person, two people, three people take cut, and that looks like JP, Jaden, and Sulfy, sorry. So that is a lot of EI in the top spots now. With sorry, not a lot of STS
Blue's
in the
out.
top slot now with 2-3, and that blue is gonna make a lot of STS
Blue's
in the
out.
top slot now with 2-3, and that blue.
Striker's gotta be careful not to run into anyone.
Alright, good red onto Jaden there, and now EI in a really good spot. Selfie, Bran, and Clyde in top 3 with Clyde having triple shrooms, should be able to take the barn cut to take a little bit of a break here before taking the last shroom cut. At least that's what I would expect out of Clyde here as we go into this final section.
Damn.
Do we have, let's take a look at, oh, that POW is brutal for EI there. Great job by whoever called that on STS. Now Clyde getting one shroom for the ending cut at the very least, but the lead has been severely cut for top 3 as we
Dude,
go into that
considering how
final section.
many non-shock item strikers, well, maybe STS has a 9. And it looks like, yes, it is the case as FB dodges. Oh, you almost went for cut as well. Oh, is he gonna do a play here, or is he just gonna secure one?
Switch views. No, just immediately taking the cut in Mega. We'll see if he tries to schlag anyone. But yeah, FB getting first there with that chain of star into Mega.
Damn, I'm so
Great
sorry.
job.
I watched it on the studio mode and I forgot to transition it.
Yeah, that's what we discussed before the stream.
No, but I
But
forgot as
yeah,
well. Like, I
yeah,
forgot to do it
it's
for the
it's all
viewers.
good. Oh, the stream is dead actually.
Really? No, it's up.
Is it?
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
it bugged for a second there. It bugged for a
No,
second
it's
then.
up.
It seems. Alright, never mind. My mistake.
Delusion.
But yeah, the delusion.
Although
My
I
mistake. It
think
was
it
just
did go down for a second. I don't know why
it,
though.
it went down for a second it seems, but we're all good. I just didn't refresh on Twitch. But yeah, EI getting only 2 for 5 out of this when they were in such a huge lead going into the last lap. That
But
chain of POW into shock there, absolutely brutal for EI. So great, STS being a bit bailed out by that shock there. Obviously, good play by Key to pull it, although I believe that that could have been in 9, seeing the way that the bagging battle went.
what were the
Not
exact
entire.
spots for that? Oh,
I went back a little too quick, but I believe it was 2, 3, 5, 7, 9 for STS.
2, 3, 5, 7, 9. Oh, the DC happened.
Nope. Well, we'll have all the time in the world to discuss that as we go into a little break, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, really good race from STS coming back from essentially nowhere there with that double dodge, getting into 1-3. No, into 1-4. So apologies. Getting into 1-4 here, even though it seemed to be quite the long shot, but that has to be one of the most brutal POW spots that you can have. This turn is so unforgiving if you take it poorly. Anyone that has TT'd Twin Peaks can attest to that. And having the POW in addition to that, especially considering that one of your top spots is triple shrooms, you've got to feel bad for EI losing so much of your lead before shock even happens.
Probably not have the FC up on stream. Not like anyone from the stream will join the room. They're not playing. Only 30 people watching this.
You say that, but you never know. Never know the kind of mischief that could happen in a random Twitch chat. Anyway, granted, so far the match has been going somewhat as expected. STS getting the upper hand on EI on a lot of these races so far, but being a bit more shock reliant than I expected. Its big nature maybe less so, seeing as they were in top 2. But without shock, that Twin Peaks race would have been an absolute disaster for them. So gotta stay on their toes. Can't really count their chickens before they hatch here. So if Striker can get a few if you can get a few shocks in a streak, there could absolutely turn the tables around for EI. So can't be too careful, even with an EI lineup that it's a bit weaker on paper. But regardless, though, STS having a pretty good cushion so far. I believe they're still above. They are still above the 31-point threshold. Holding on to their lead fairly well. Should take a couple more races for EI to have a chance to pull back up. Spots will not exactly sure if spots are held in any way. I did not check the rep chat. I'm a horrendous caster. I do apologize. Yeah, no, yeah, it is spots. Spots are claimed by STS here, so should be fine. Regardless, STS should be in a pretty decent spot going into the last race of the first GP. Hopefully, the last DC that we have. I suppose that is one advantage that Mario Kart World does have, that you keep going regardless of DCs. That is definitely an advantage. Yes, I will be glazing Mario Kart World throughout this stream. Don't worry about it, that's normal.
Wait, so I have 1378 for STS. Is that right?
That 137.
Anyone on stream? Did anyone playing have the results for that?
That is 1378 for STS. Yes,
okay.
That is correct.
And 9.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So yeah, 1378 for STS. Siberian and Christmas are two more options, seeing the 1-3 setup. But I would not be surprised if to see a bit more of a top-bottom track from STS, such as Banished Keep, for example. Though I'm not exactly sure if STS picks this track way too often. I've not worked with them enough lately to really be able to determine that, but could be a potential option. We'll have to keep our eyes out onto that. Just waiting on the baggers to join here before we can go right back into the action. So yeah, what do you think about this match so far, Lawrence? How are you enjoying the action?
I think it's to be expected. It's kind of hard to watch trying to work all the stream stuff in the background as well, but like especially on Twin Peaks, it seemed like a really good race, but I could only watch the end of lap 3 really.
No, that's fair. I absolutely get it. I will take over for most of this. Don't worry about it. But regardless, I will say a lot of aggressiveness, which I enjoy seeing quite a bit. Really aggressive item play from both sides here, just trying to head each other out really often. We saw a lot of snipes coming out on the first section of Twin Peaks. We saw a lot of aggressive backs from JP in the front there, and it's always nice to see Players just not be afraid of trying to hit out each other. Around the cows, there are also a lot of good hits, pretty good green snipe from FB, for example. But either way, I am really, really excited to see both of these teams be so aggressive. It's always nice to see and just makes for a way better show to watch for the viewers out there.
How have you been feeling about the shock plays this war? It seems like on both sides it's been pretty alright. Nothing too
Uh,
egregious.
no, nothing too egregious so far. We'll have to see. It does seem like Key has been having a bit more luck here with one shock on Thwomp Swamp, an early shock on Big Nature, and a shock
Another
in
Candy
9
Coaster
on
pick for EI coming out.
Twin Peaks. Not too surprising, they're 2, 4, 5, 6. But yeah, Key has been having a bit of a lucky streak. We'll have to, or at least it seems like it from our POV. We'll have to see if that ends up turning around for Striker, or if Key is able to capitalize this, maybe take advantage of that.
Yeah.
From experience, it is fairly easy to get a bit tilted as a bagger if your opponent has a lucky streak. So Striker just have to keep a level head, try not to let it get to him, and just remember that in bagging, some lucky pulls such as these are expected. Gothic Castle, there's an interesting
Ooh.
pick
Not
for
one you see
1-3.
often.
Not one you see often, especially for these spots. The issue, in my eyes, is that it is really easy for EI to get some drafts in early. So FB is going to have to be really careful about not letting Clyde get that draft. And funnily enough, that's our 2 POVs, so we're going to be able to see that really easily. Clyde immediately, and as immediately we see FB getting pushed out and EI now in top 2 immediately, and that's exactly why I really do not enjoy this track in 1-3. It's way too easy for the other team to get some drafts up, to get some bumps up, and now EI in some great spots going into the second half of this first lap here.
Alright. Coming up to 30 seconds. Just checking on who's 10. Riker gonna get a box 10 here. Does he pull it? Nope.
Immediate bill is unfortunately setting tracks, so gonna have to wait a little bit to see more of that action. It's not gonna be much more action on the bagging side. We'll just have to see who ends up going on the mini map. Clyde
Ooh,
going for the
Clyde
Shroomless,
doesn't do it good.
unfortunately,
Doesn't get the air
not
pocket.
getting there.
I think
Not
Sherm
getting
did
the
it
air,
worse. I don't know what happened to him.
he went around and clipped the dirt, I think. He just kind of disappeared, and now Jaden is in second, but Clyde should be able to hold on to that first fairly well. But I want to switch POVs really quickly to show that FB has a start in 5th, so if we get an early shock on the side of STS, could absolutely turn this race around if he gets a shock early on, but it seems neither bagger is really getting away so far, so should be shockless for the time being. Just going to hold that start in 5th for FB here as Brandon tries and bump him out a little bit, forcing him into 6th place. Getting the draft off, though, should get back up into 5th fairly
and
easily.
Would you look at that? Our man is
Strike.
pulled the shock.
Striker finally getting his lucky break here, getting the shock in 9th as he was I assume just went for the strat and unfortunately didn't manage to pull it off. So Striker having the shock in 9. Let's switch POVs here to I wonder where Clyde is at this. But Clyde is still gone in 1. Okay, so but nothing too much going on for Clyde. Should be a fairly easy run as long as the strat is not failed.
Oh yeah!
Okay,
Wow.
not in the void. The caster's curse, but not in the void, and that's what matters.
Yeah, he
Should
got
stay
away
in
with that
regardless.
one. It could be a lot worse if you're really bad at the game.
Okay, you seem to speak from experience, but anyway, in all seriousness, Clyde now getting the Shroomless should be able to stick into 1st here, and should have 1st guaranteed, seeing as we know that EI has the shock. We see a lot of STS in 2-3 here, JP and Jaden, but that aggressive Nana is going to get punished here with a very nice red,
and the
but
blue's
that
out.
blue
We
is
don't
out
have ads
immediately.
on it. Who
Who
gets hit?
I'm going to be honest, I have expected a shock into that downhill here, but JP actually having a Shroom to dodge that. Will we see a shock, a TS called onto that ramp here? It is going to be called, but the members of STS being smart enough to go around, and Clyde, unfortunately,
Clyde is falling off on our other POV.
Falling off while small, and that allows STS to just stay in the front there. We see a member of EI sneak into the front, but that EI shock not really doing a whole lot for EI as we see them in bottom 2 at the end. Really unfortunate. I'm gonna be honest, I have expected a shock to be pulled as we saw Clyde go over that ramp here, since a shock means that you fall down way faster. So it is slightly faster to be TS there, and would have also allowed to shock them into a blue and just get a few dodges in early. That could have been an option for EI, but yeah, Clyde unfortunately falling off of that ramp in fourth there, and that just means STS gets a much better race than they should have gotten in 2, 4, 5, 6. EI still getting 1, 3, bottom 2. Not too bad of a race. That's what STS got last race. But given the shock that they had, it should have been way more than that.
Moving on, the gap is down to 36. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just same gap as it was last race. But yeah, the really unfortunate ending for EI, that shock, managing to get them first regardless, forcing the other players to forcing the top two of STS to go around
Fish
around the
Down
ramps there.
Island coming out. We know who's in one.
And we know who's in one. Sherm on his signature track pick here, Festival Town, another EI classic for well, just pretty classic track for evens
Ooh, a
overall.
Super Sky Courtyard pick coming out. They might have not coordinated that one.
Oh, that is, and random pick.
Random.
Let's hope for everyone involved that it is not end up on some
Fish Down
CTR
Island.
track.
We'll see. We don't have a Sherm POV up, but I think watching, we'll see how the battle in the front goes. It's going to be really important.
Yeah, this could be really impactful first two turns here, as we have our eyes on FB. And actually, Clyde burning out another POV, so forcing himself up in the back already. But I should have a member in the back anyways.
I think
Too
Sherm
much
was able to get into one.
Good red from FB, getting a member of EI out. JC drafting up into second here as well. So
on the TC. Oh, if he doesn't pass this is bad. Jay's gonna get hit too. No, no.
Oh, Brand dodging that green.
Oh!
But
Wow.
that drift scared me. And FB actually falling off there, so should be gone in last after that TC. Unfortunate.
And another TC's out.
Clyde has a start in fourth there, should be able to keep this as STS just keeps chaining TCs. Star used early here.
I don't like this decision unless Striker has shock. It looks shockless to me.
Shockless, and I believe Striker was in 10 from what I've seen. Striker is in 10, so maybe Clyde feeling confident that he doesn't need to hold this and should
Clyde. See what he can do here. Two members of STS. He's got to make a play.
Bombing
and he did it. He's got one.
Out.
That's nice. Good enough.
That is textbook bomb spot into that corner here. Great play by Clyde, allowing Sherm a bit of a...
Ooh, I like that. Break. He's playing really good with these. He's getting really close.
Yeah. Some good attempts by Clyde, but unfortunately none of them managing to hit out Jade, who's been evading Clyde's snipes really well these past 30 seconds here, as both backers still going backwards.
I think he's gonna get punished for all this spam. Yeah.
Both backers still going backwards. Should not have a shock. Should not have a shocks just yet. And both our POVs now in the back. Dribble Shrooms on the side of Clyde there, should be able to just shroom up FB and with a star behind him. If there's a shock to be pulled by STS right now...
Yeah, this would be killer blow for STS.
I think baggers are going forward. There is a shock in play. Don't know who has it just yet. It doesn't seem to be STS, who would have been called by now. And EI doesn't seem to be that huge of a race, actually. We see Clyde in the back here. We saw Brennan in 5th, I believe. Sherm should have kept first, so it's entirely dependent on what the last member of EI got, but it could have been just as good of a race as it could have been bad. It entirely depends on what that last member got. Unfortunately, both of our POVs in the back, kind of difficult to see what was going on here, so a little bit of suspense there. But the fact that EI didn't use the shock, I assume they had it, seeing as Clyde was hard bagging at the last set here. So you would assume EI had it. So if there was no shock called, it should have been a fairly good race for EI. We'll see.
FB getting paid off by Jurassic Park as it keeps showing up every time we go to his POV.
And EI getting 1-4-7-8 out of that Solf not able to get up there. So Sherm holding on to that first, but STS getting 2, 3, 5, 6 out of it. Better race
Who got bagger
for
point?
STS. Oh my goodness, I did not quite see that. Whoops. I do believe it would make sense for it to be Key.
Okay.
But I might not be entirely accurate on that. I did not think of checking it.
We'll just go with
But
it.
yeah, regardless, EI, unfortunate really on their track pick. A lot of good snipes coming out of Clyde here, but unfortunately just got punished by the Reds behind him for spamming a little bit too much at Jaden. Jaden overall having a really making really good plays, avoiding that bomb, avoiding those nanas even at really weird angles, and just staying as the top spot they needed to take the pressure off fourth to get the time to red out Clyde. So great plays by STS overall, great play by Sherm to hold on to one the entire race. Ran blueless, clear skies, definitely appreciated so far.
Ooh,
As
Star
Starry
Cityscape
Cityscape
comes out.
is picked, STS really well. Starry Cityscape, we both know this. This is
Yeah,
your typical two 3 track. Both 2-3 can really get on the rail, can really get ahead. 3 can maybe tank for second, depending on what first gets if he goes around. Wonder if first might actually go for the rail himself. Doesn't seem like it. A lot of bumping in the front so far. Clyde getting a box in fifth. Bomb immediately as he sees 2 STS members in the front. Could be a repeat of
Ooh, and he
last one, but
gets.
Jaden, aggressive fib there, immediately gets out. Oh,
Yeah, RPOVs. Oh, and he gets bombed.
alright, let's switch POVs.
Yeah,
So
great.
unfortunate switch to FB's POV right as disaster strikes in multiple ways. Clyde pulling a star right after that. Both our POVs unfortunately now in the back. Let's go
He's
over
in
to our bagging
10.
POV really. Let's go back to our bagging POV really quickly just to see what if
Oh, and he
Clyde is
failed to
able to use
respawn.
that.
Striker's gonna get a box 10 here.
Oh no,
Pulled the
Key
bill.
failing that respawn.
Pulled the
Full
bill.
billing.
Unlucky.
Unfortunate bill in 10. Surprising that was only a box at 40 seconds, but yeah, Clyde probably gonna have to hold this start for a
Oh,
little
and
bit
he
longer.
thought about
Ooh,
going. He was in,
bit of
decided to not go at the end.
bit of funky movement, but it seems like EI is in a decent spot. I do see Sherm up there, and I think the other EI members should be up there as well. We see a lot of STS in the back,
Yep.
and FB in 7th as well. So should be at the very least one member of the top 2 for
Oh,
STS so
someone
far.
just fell
JP
off.
falls off.
Oh,
JP
that's bad.
JP falls off. Oh,
Oh,
forced in start. That's a big force. Do we hit out FB? Doesn't seem like it. None as POV. So those reds might be able to connect here. Depends on what kind
yeah.
of. Yeah, unfortunately, those walls a little bit too smooth to for some funky movement to get those reds out of him. Striker intense still not able to pull. We do see Brandon to first thanks to his POV, so we know
Oh,
that
and a
EI
blue for Clyde. It's going to be a good race. They can keep this.
should be a fairly decent race for EI. We do see Striker still going backwards. Key chaining in 9. Not actually sure if he has. We do see him sitting at the split path. He just respawned. Never mind. He is just chaining in 9, so Striker should be free to just chain in 10 until he gets the shock, hopefully.
And he just
And he
pulled
does
it.
pull it.
Looking really good for EI right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be a really good race for EI so far. Could be a TS on the cut, depending on what they decide to do. We know they're top 2.
Oh, in this back.
JC gets bumped. Will we see a TS? They decide to do. We know they're top 2.
Oh,
Will we see a TS there? We
no.
won't. No, unfortunate lack of reaction from EI. I'm really surprised to not see a TS there on their side. And stream died for a bit.
My computer couldn't handle it.
It is back up. It is back up. Don't worry. Either way, Clyde getting blue after getting star after blue. So, if anything, it could be a late shot. And
Oh!
never mind. Let's switch POVs really quickly to FB because Clyde is absolutely getting 8th at that race. Pow into 3rd. They're hitting out Sherm and Bran. Shock is called really much earlier than we would have anticipated. Actually, maybe a dodge for Solf in the back. Cannot quite see it, but it is all STS in the mid spot. A small bump. And EI is going to get bottom 2 out of that race. Really unfortunate. They weren't top 2 the entire race. They had Shock, but Clyde, that trick not coming out.
It must be really
The
frustrating, especially on that ramp. Like, oh, when you don't get the trick there and fall off, you just feel so
Yeah,
bad.
no, that is quite unfortunate.
Oh, apparently, we didn't get to see it on stream, but allegedly Striker fell off with shock.
Oh.
Yeah, it might be time to get back on the game and not on our stream.
Yeah, 1378. Well, that does explain why the shock didn't came earlier. I was surprised for it to not come as Solf came into the set. So it came a bit later than expected. So either that or STS pulled it. Maybe I'm not entirely sure. I'm not exactly sure who had it. Seeing as the POV that we had was outdated due to falling off with shock uncontested, but that is besides the point. Either way, yeah, EI once again, really unfortunate. Should be in a top spot. Should be in a really good slot for the race, and in one way or another, just not managing to get the race that are needed through either some unlucky item pulls or some mechanical misplay. And it seems like STS is just going to be able to take advantage of that to keep their lead at a swift 42. We do have half of the war left to go, so should be more than enough time for EI to catch up on. Final grounds, Shaggy Lumberco, pretty expected picks from both of these teams. Actually, a member of STS, a member of member of STS betraying his team, but EI will get their pick as final grounds is picked for them in these spots. We'll have to see if STS can keep the second here between 1 and 3. A little bit of a POV from FB here, as we should get a bit of bagging there for Shrooms. Would not be surprised to see it. As a lot of members of 2 members of STS bagging actually 8th box secured for FB. This is a golden, unfortunately not able to be chained in any way. Clyde having a bomb in 3rd could be pretty devastating on this turn here, as EI now in top 2.
Who makes the strat?
Ooh, nice, great strat. Unfortunately, he might be in front of... He's not in front of Brand. Alright, that's perfect. Having the break necessary, getting that bomb back. It is a bit too far to connect with anyone. Brand, a little bit of a mechanical misplay there. It seems as JC using this opportunity to get into
Ooh, Clyde
first.
couldn't tell where to go. He's gonna get the... No red out.
Broke on nothing. Admittedly, I'm not sure. Maybe JP pulled an item last second. FB using this opportunity to get in the
And it's
front here.
top 3. This is scary. Clyde has to make this cut or it's over. Oh,
Well, unfortunately for our spectators, we did not see it, but Clyde did fail the cut in 4, so top 3 is going to be broken away from STS. We should probably switch POVs here, as FB is probably just going to stay in first for the entire rest of this race. Striker made the strat. Both of these baggers actually making the
made it
strat
too.
fairly quickly. Did someone DC? Oh, someone might have DC'd here. Striker in 9th after making the strat first, so not exactly sure which who DC'd on which side, but we'll have to keep that in mind. Striker is going to be able to chain some boxes in the equivalent of 10th for maybe a little bit of an EI
I think it's
resurgence.
close though. Well, he just pulled it.
Striker immediately pulling shock. Let's switch back to our runner POV here. Clyde pulling out triple shrooms, probably chaining these, trying to get a dodge in a mid spot here, but we're only pulling shrooms, not the big kind that we really need in this spot. Chaining again for a bomb. Wonder where FB is. FB still in first at this point in the race. Would not be shocked to see as so. STS in 3, 4, 5 behind. Stream died for a little bit once again. Or at least it did for me. It doesn't seem to be the case for Twitch. Thank goodness. Either way. STS in really good spot at this point here. We do see Jaden up there. We see a lot of STS up there. I believe a NEI member might have
Blue just came out.
Blue came out onto should be an STS member.
Did he get the red on Sherm?
Sherm trying to maneuver around FB's greens, but FB having none of it. Great play by him, hitting out Sherm. So that blue, who was supposed to turn around the race a little bit, not doing enough of an impact here. FB should keep first the rest of the race. Let's switch POVs back to Clyde as we go into the last.
No! This is getting.
JP's behind him. It should be fine. Let's switch.
He just hit a wall.
No, I know, but JP's behind him. It shouldn't be much of an issue here. Clyde just gonna have to try and get in front, shock
Oh,
into the set.
who's gonna
Maybe
get
we
the?
hit out Jaden. Maybe we hit out Jaden. We should be able to do it with those reds. Do those reach? I do not believe those reach. No, Jaden keeping his fifth there. EI getting the equivalent of bottom 3 with that DC. Really not what you want to see when your team is already down 40 going into the last GP.
So I have a question. Are we gonna interview someone after like a regular season match?
Uh,
I don't think
you
it
know what?
deserves one, but
Uh,
um,
dep- maybe poll the chat on this. I don't know.
yeah,
Either way, yeah, STS getting top 3-5, and yeah, as stated, EI getting the equivalent of 4 bottom 3 with that DC from Run. So, unfortunately, EI's the break from STS is only going to keep widening as we get into that last GP. So STS now fairly comfortable. EI essentially needing a top 4 to get things started right away, or we're looking at a really early loss for them. And STS is quickly moving towards that perfect season that we were talking about earlier in the match.
yes. I don't know how perfect it is with two teams dropping in the league. Only
You don't need
having
to,
two real teams to play against and
you
having to
don't
play
need
them
to
in
worry about that.
playoffs.
That is semantics. You don't have to worry about that. Not their fault that someone's TV died in the middle of the season.
Yeah, or the
Anyway,
team got more interested in MK World, which actually I think is a lot of them. I think
that should be it. I would not be surprised if this was a lot of them. I'm surprised GSC got this many entrances, in all
me
honesty, with
too,
them
man.
World being
Well,
out.
I mean, with all the fibs and Jammo coming back, I think it's fair that we have 61 entries. I think we even beat last season. We as said like I ran GSC, but you know, very impressive
We
still.
don't worry about it. But yeah, either way, quick reset for them. Do expect STC, yeah, STS to hold on to those spots here. Should be fairly expected, seeing as they got top 3-5. But yeah, essentially this race is most likely do or die for EI here, because if we don't start getting momentum now, if STS gets one more winning race, it is essentially curtains for EI and on their potential second seed. Why is my cat meowing at the fucking window? But yeah, no seriousness, EI essentially need a big track pick here. We'll have to see. Not sure. I have checked. Should not be any pens on either side. Both baggers keeping it fairly clean. Not often the case in a striker war, but that is.
Man, all the smoke.
I'm obviously joking around. No need to worry. I am simply being filling in the void a little bit as we wait for the second DC to resolve itself. But yeah, no pens so far. So as long as Key stays fairly out of the runners' lines, should keep this fairly nice lead for STS's side. What big bagging track pick do you think would be good for EI right now to try and get back into this match?
Ooh. Well, I think you would know because you had to play against I think both of them. Well, not Key because we forfeited. But you played against Striker. You know his good tracks.
For bagging specifically, it's kind of tough. He's unironically, he
Maybe
doesn't have a lot of
even Infernal could try pulling Shock and
Infernal.
I don't know how
I'm not
hard
quite sure
the
about
it might be a bit tough to do the cannon strat though. I'm not really like
that. Okay,
I
but
think he has the advantage except for the cannon strat. Like if they get that, like they just gotta focus really hard to make sure that that he keeps it.
What are you on about, Lawrence? I think you're slightly losing your mind at this match right there. But just waiting for the baggers now. Shouldn't take too long for us to get back into this match right here. But yeah, some big bagging tracks that still reward some skills. Sandstone Cliffs, actually, I believe, was already picked, to my knowledge. It would have. Wait, I need to. Yeah, Sandstone Cliffs was already picked. Could have been an option for EI. A lot of teams really favor that. I highly depends. We could see Candy Coaster come out, bit more of a desperate specialist pick from EI, if they feel like they need a track where they know they can outstrat the other.
Honestly, yeah, like Candy Coaster, probably their best bet at the moment.
Would not be surprised to see it, but yeah, should be. Oh no, not 10 in room. Someone DC'd once again. Pretty horrendous nets, it seems.
Okay, speaking about horrendous, can we talk about Striker's melee? Oh my.
What do you mean? It's both.
Yikes.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's
That is-
both.
That.
What else do you want?
Oh,
What else do you want?
Yeah. Like, guys, can we just talk about this? Like, I don't like it.
You don't feel safe around it.
No. Oh,
the-
yikes.
It's the dog. It's the dog. I don't know what you're talking
That dog
about.
in him.
The dog. That dog in him. He's been getting quite a few shocks these last few races, so maybe that's exactly what he needed. But yeah, so we're finally back at 10.
Yeah, he needed
Getting-
a dog inside of him. Yeah. Can imagine.
Okay. Okay. We're on cast, buddy. Let's keep it civil.
20 people are watching, and half of them are the people playing. It doesn't matter.
Okay, but in all seriousness though, do or die race for EI, I would say. Most likely just if they lose this race, STS pretty much has it in the bag unless there is a big pen coming out from Key or if they horrendously misplay race 10-11.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised because they've never asked me how to fish before for pens, so it's really gonna be tough for them to get any.
Yeah, Key has been playing fairly safe. You would need an expert fisher, really.
Yeah, for
to-
sure. Someone who's
to
really
get some
mastered
points
the
out of
art of fishing and really knows what the game is and getting those -20s.
Desert Fort, there's an option I didn't necessarily think of in the moment, but that is absolutely something that would
These are
fit
two
the
very,
moniker.
very bagging strat heavy tracks. See if Striker has any advantage. Get Mansion.
Mansion of Madness, it says yes, this track pick. They've been picking it for quite a few races by now, so you would expect Key to be pretty comfortable on it. We'll have to keep a close eye on the bagging strat, as you said, really strat heavy. So one of the baggers could easily break away into 10th here. But for now, let's just keep our eyes out on the runners here. Clyde getting a swift draft here, as should get a pretty free box in 5th. An immediate
Ooh,
triple
for
reds
Reds.
on JC.
Good if they connect,
hi-
but oh, the high trick puts him in a really bad spot and he hit his own teammate.
Yeah, unfortunately that high trick means that he loses enough time to be in the middle of his teammates there. Sherm pulling a red, and
Oh,
unfortunately...
Oh my, yeah, both of our POVs hit the dog. The dog? What?
The spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, both our POVs now far in the back at this point, so should be... Unfortunately should be...
Oh, and a blue
fair...
already
a blue.
out.
Coming out at 39 seconds, you gotta feel
what
that...
they need. Oh, but it's on the
Gotta
boost panel section. I think they'll be okay.
Should be fine. JC pulling out, getting back up to speed really quickly. Mega from FB, really good pull there.
JP hits
Ooh,
the bullet bill.
We do see Solf into second here, but Jaden in 1. So should be fairly close battle for now. FB might be going.
They're already in their first shot. Very good job on Striker.
From EI.
I think Striker's gone 10. Yeah.
Should be the case here. Would not be seeing where Key is at right now, and they just respawned. I would not be surprised if it was Striker gone in 10 by now. Yeah, really quick shot. Clyde getting into fourth there. And if we switch POVs real quick, we can see he's holding a Mega in fourth, in a really good spot here with Solf. Unfortunately, his only support there in second. So a lot of pressure on Clyde's shoulders there, and a lot of pressure on Striker's shoulders to be able to pull that second shot to get them back into the race here. Clyde should just hold on to that Mega for a little bit. We'll have to see. Getting into third there, nice outline. Solf putting a bit more pressure onto third here, forcing him to back off, and Clyde now into three with his teammate there, JC. Into fourth, Mega being forced out
Oh,
with that POW taking the cut anyway, and Shock is used there, and second Shock by
hopefully Clyde can
EI.
get into first year. They really need to get first. Have any chance of winning.
Absolutely, they need that at the very least as we go into the Bill section. Good dodge from them. Let's switch POVs to FB, who actually pulled a Bill there in 8th, so should
No,
be in a
no, we
pretty
shouldn't have
decent...
switched. He just failed. He did a little loop on the cannon,
Oh,
the turn, the zipper turn.
no. The
Still won
anti-Casper's
though.
curse for once as we switch away from Clyde's POV. Should stay in first though for a little bit. That POW should not hamper him too much, though it should get a lot of EI into a
Striker
lot
has
of
shock
SCS.
again.
A third shock for Striker. FB going into the cut into Bill there. Wonder if there's going to be a shock late for EI there, if we're just going to let Clyde run this. Would not be surprised to see maybe Clyde call this after, or maybe canceling that red could be an option here. Maybe breaking it on the foam, doesn't quite break it, breaks on the lava. There's the shock call
Oh, and I think a
late.
TS on
Yes,
Jade happened.
TS on Jaden, though it doesn't do much. It respawns after, and
I
EI
think they got
not
135, but that's not good enough at the moment. They need to build on that. It's a good race,
yeah.
but
So Solf getting a late dodge in, but yeah, the 135 with 3 shocks. That doesn't feel too great if you're EI. 3 shocks for 135. Striker doing absolutely a masterful job there on SCS's track
yeah,
pick,
no, that
staying in
was
10 the
really
entire
good.
race.
Have the advantage the whole time. Very impressive.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you seems like EI cannot quite capitalize on this 135. 8 from Sherm brings the lead down to only maybe around 60, 55.
Only a +5 race, so
Yeah, so 60, yeah, 62 lead. So barely making a small dent into our little break here, into our little chasm here, but unfortunately not able to do much more than that as we get on into our last GP here. But there's at least a surge of momentum on the side of EI.
yeah,
It is something.
that
If they
is
can change into a
essentially
running
their
track, it could maybe be the start of a comeback if we can get some last good races.
yeah. This is essentially their first winning race, and it's not even by a lot. So hopefully they can have something here to run. Although it's only
Yeah,
135.
Mr. Bean going to play a big role here as we go into Alpine Peak against the Bali team. Oh no, but it is STS picking this. I'm blind. Marble Towers being the pick by EI there into 135. And Alpine
Ooh,
Peak is going to be chosen. No Bali in lineup, but Alpine Peak still being picked by STS here. No surprises there. A pick that has been a staple of STS for the entire season. Not surprised to see it come down into this last match. Gonna have to see if any early shrooms are pulled. Keep an eye onto FB here. Actually choosing to really
single
back off
red.
here. Getting a red onto Sherm early on.
I think that's an
Yeah, forcing
okay.
him into 8.
So that's an
Might
okay
have broken.
decision.
Might have broken either way. You need those shrooms early.
One
You
cutter
need cut
here,
takers.
Jade, and he's into one pretty quickly.
Jaden getting shrooms really early on. We do see Clyde trying to fight a little bit for that spot off with Bran, who
Ooh,
approximative shroomless here, I must say. Clyde unfortunately losing quite a few spots off that to JP and JC. We do see FB trying to support his teammate into first. Bran now the only top spot. Green shot out if this hits, it could be absolutely huge, but unfortunately... Oh, it does connect! Oh my god!
Oh, I think he just did. He hit his own teammate off. What
He
happened?
might have... I'm not exactly sure. It might have
Oh,
been a
blue
back
out
from
though.
Jaden.
I think. Yeah.
It might have been a back from Jaden, unfortunately, but either way, still top 3 on the side of STS. FB getting a shroom right after a blue... Was that a blue?
Yeah, there was a blue out. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I did not see that small on the small screens. Either way, yeah, blue, but still, STS keeping top 3, even with that small team kill, even with the
Yeah, they
blue.
all have shrooms. It'd be very hard to catch up. Yeah, definitely has to
Let,
play
let's
for
switch.
2.
Let's switch POVs here onto Clyde, who's holding a Mega in 4th right behind those two. Once again, can be pretty
Oh,
much the
FB just
saving grace.
failed.
Ooh,
Oh,
wait,
he still won,
J,
but he lost some time. Oh, he forced
ooh, forcing a
JP.
start. Forcing a start out of JP here into second, so SES still in a good spot, even though Clyde took the cut really well. Much better than the 2 members of STS, but unfortunately not going to be able to capitalize off it much. Green goes up, doesn't connect on JP, would have been a crazy snipe, I must say. But yeah, STS in top 2-4 on their track pick. Can we go maybe to Striker's POV for a second? I'm curious to see what the shock status looks like. Quick transition. Oh, never mind. Either way, it seems that Key may or may not have the shock, so STS in a really good spot going into this last leg of the race, and there it is.
Oh, that it looked
Brand
like an
actually,
EI shot, but Striker didn't have on our POV. That seemed really weird.
Brand either that or just Brand
There's
dodging
gonna
in a
be a TC
mega
battle
while
in the
being in a
front.
fight.
Oh, you got past
Oh.
though. Who has it? JP has it. Oh, it's still not looking that good.
Yeah, STS still in a lot of decently
Oh!
high spots.
Get straight
Blue
out.
snipe
No,
and
he
blue.
lost to blue.
He loses blue off that. No, that's such a huge loss.
Wow, that is so
Unfortunately,
unlucky.
not only is there the time loss, but also could have gotten JC out of first here, could have gotten an STS member out, and that might have just sealed the deal
Oh,
for
Striker is
EI.
shocked. Striker is shocked. Striker is shocked.
Oh, that could be a very late shock here. Switch back to Clyde. We do see the dodge coming out. Wait a second, if we maybe see a red onto...
What?
The green broke
Are you
broke it.
serious?
The green broke it.
Wow.
STS.
What is? What is?
Green.
It's cheating.
Greens saving STS's race in 2 ways here. If both of those greens weren't there, JC would have gone blued, and then right after that red onto, I believe it was onto FB. That red onto FB, that would have been a top 2 for EI, but those 2 reds, the saviors of STS this race, alongside the green snipe that FB got on lap 1 as well. But yeah, going from what could have been a top 2-5 or top 2-4 maybe to a 2-4-5, and STS is looking even more in control. Even though it was a slippery slope, but they're looking still in control of that war. And now I believe it is only. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do we have 2 races left, Lawrence? Or 3?
Seems like we have 3 more left.
Oh, 3 more. Alright, so it is still technically possible without Striker having to run. But we're gonna need a really big race right here, right now.
And
To see.
I'm not very confident after watching that match the other day about Striker running, so maybe they do need to try to go for the win right now.
You absolutely wanted to get that in this cast, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Either way, we'll have to see what they choose. Color Wonderland. Ooh, there's an interesting pick coming out of EI, maybe thinking that they can outstrat STS on this. Rogue Mushroom Peaks coming out. I do hope that's not getting picked.
And
We do
Airship.
see
It was that?
Airship Fortress.
Is that a repick?
Yes, it is. Yes, no, it is not. It is not. Bowser's it's Bowser and TikTok, the DS tracks that was picked before.
Okay.
And Bowser Jr.'s for it. So no, not a repick, thankfully, for STS. Could have been quite the blow to their lead here. STS already getting into top 2, and Airship really strong running tracks. I would not be surprised to see STS keep that top 3 even even right from the start. Unfortunate box steal from
Oh, the
JP to
big
his teammate
connects.
there. FB definitely needs to back quite a bit. We do see Clyde on our other POV shrooming up into 4th there. Once again, ooh, that POW could be really huge for EI actually. Clyde
Actually
getting
got.
into 2nd here. Jaden thankfully there to catch up on everything. STS back into the top 3 quickly. No items it seems. Great snipe from Clyde and a POW coming out. FB trying to red out someone, unfortunately being forced into the wall. Good dodge of the snipe from of the back from Solf. As we go into the ship itself, triple greens coming out here. Should be pretty clean snipe opportunities on Solf and Clyde, depending on what FB decides to do with those greens. Maybe going into the turn right there. Greens shot up. Will we see a hit there? Funky Kong cheering. It doesn't seem like it. Back being dodged as well. There's the shock coming out. STS getting dodging top 2, but Clyde barely managed to get in alongside them. So Clyde still having the opportunity to be pretty disruptive here, depending on what he decides to do. Immediate shroom up
I like
into
that play.
Jaden's rear.
There's not much you can do here, and honestly, it's kind of a lost cause with how far gone top 3 is. So yeah, Clyde has to play really aggressive, being down 65.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
You
and he
need
gets
a
one.
big
He
race.
gets one,
Good, really great
and
back
you get the
onto
other.
JP
This
there.
is really important.
If there's a snipe coming out, it could be huge. Are we
There's
waiting
a
for the
blue.
spiral?
There's a blue.
Oh, we're not waiting for anything. The blue coming out. Will we see a late shock here? No, we will not. Does the blue connect
Striker
in
has it
time?
though.
It has the time to go through the. You need to have time to go through the cannon. Either that or Lawrence was just lying to me. I do not see any blue coming out.
I guess there wasn't. They did have shock though. I wonder
They
what
did
the
have
play
shock.
was.
They did have shock, and they get 2, 3, 4 out of it. It is a winning race on the side of EI. Definitely didn't expect it to be, but great play from Clyde there. That POW lap 1, allowing him to get into that top 3, and then just a lot of items being thrown and hits on Clyde's side, both front and back, just allowing him to get into 2nd to keep that. Good job on Jaden from dodging all of these items there, keeping 1st all throughout. But yeah, Clyde barely getting into that that cannon there on lap 2 absolutely
Yeah.
saved the ice race.
2, 3, 4, 6. Wow.
6. 2, 3, 4, 6. Pretty decent race on EI's side. We are now technically in striking distance, but we need essentially a top 4 within the next race if we want to secure a potential 2nd seed here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a miracle. Needed.
Very much so. You would expect it to be needed. You would need another triple shock on the side of Striker, really, to make that big of a difference.
Yeah, just like good execution, and honestly, a little bit of luck just to like you need the other team to play bad. You're banking on it.
Yeah, with a lead like that, there's absolutely a bit of a praying for misplays because at this point, STS doesn't need to play aggressive. They can just play for their top spots. They can play for at least at this point, if STS gets a single member into top 2, it is essentially curtains for EI. My goodness, need some water. And what is coming out here? It is Color Wonderland coming out as EI's track pick. As they are in 2, 3, 4, they're gonna need to hit out Jaden quickly and then stay in the front for the entire race. That's essentially what they're banking on. Apologies if that was in the mic. Anyway, let's see here. Immediate red. If Jaden pulls a green, no fib, thankfully, on Jaden's side, able to keep 1st for now. So it's going to be a
Shaden
battle
probably
of.
has a bag, so Clyde has to be careful. He has an out. Probably on cut. It's when you use it.
You would expect it on cut. It doesn't seem like it's going to be used, though. And Clyde, unfortunately, that is not the tightest Shroomless ever, that's for certain. Jaden breaking away with that. Jaden not
Jaden
going
not.
for the Shroomless. Not going for the Shroomless. We do. Oh, Sherm! The little
Oh wow.
swerve. The swerve there. I'm surprised he swerved this quickly into the cut, but Clyde maybe a bit scared to wheelie there and not getting into the line necessary to make that full Shroomless. So now, EI not in that good of a spot here. Striker going for the strat here. We're just gonna get into his POV here really to quickly to check it.
Oh,
FB
TC battle.
managing to
Ooh.
good pass onto Solve as we're forced into that start, but we get a Mega anyway. We have the dodge that we need to
Shit just fell off
guarantee.
in one. It's top 2.
Oh no.
I think. Is that true? Oh shit. Might be
It should
lying.
be.
Yeah,
It
he just
should be.
fell
I
off.
think
Yeah.
it is Bran. It is Bran and Clyde in top. Bran and Sherm, sorry, in top 2 now. So the first part. Bran actually falling off, and FB doing the same. A lot of people falling off here.
And I just
And
want to pull the screen over to Striker, who just pulled shock right now. We'll see
so
if
Striker.
if he goes for it. If he goes for it. No, he's got it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, Clyde. Clyde shouldn't be the one directing shock here. You're aiming for top 3, maybe 7 at this point. Sherm is the only top spot gone in 1 at this point. And actually getting hit out at some point, I believe, seeing the Funky Kong spinning on
Clyde
the
and
map.
Star, we're gonna see if they use it now.
And it is a shock coming out. We do see 2 dodges on the side of EI there with Solf and Clyde, and a member of STS also being TS. That is a huge shock on the side of EI.
And SCS is
Now
bottom 3. They have to make a good play
you're
at the end.
you're banking on Shroomless here at this point. FB playing it safe. If lots of Clyde actually going for full Shroomless, getting it, but those triple Shrooms on FB's side managing to get him third. I believe it's a top 2-4-6 or top 2-4-5 for EI. Great race from them. Unfortunately, a lot of misplays in the top spots. Sherm keeping first the entire race after that second lap. Great play by him. But yeah, that shock was a godsend for EI, getting a nice dodge out of top 2 and TSing a member of STS as well. FB forced to go to the side, but thankfully that triple shroom pull at the end, allowing him to pass. And that is top 2-4-5. Actually, never mind. No, that's JP in second. Brand fell off at the end. My mistake. I misread that. That went from good to that went from well, now I feel bad because STS actually that is now a pretty decent race from them, getting 2-3 out of that. And I believe that might just be curtains for that should be curtains for EI if we're not running, or if we're not all running, but it should be close.
I definitely. The score. Y'all know who won. I don't know if it's correct. Also, there's a -5 that I just sent in chat against EI.
Oh
on
my goodness!
the
Yeah,
mention race. So
yeah.
GG's
So it should be
to State
STS. Perfect season. Great job by them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunate that ends up this way. Really unfortunate. I really thought it was a top 2-4-5, but I did not see JP in the front there sneaking away. I assume Brand fell off cuts, trying to go for full cut maybe. We could not quite see in the front, unfortunately, with all
Musical
that
motivated
chaos.
to end off the season. We'll see if Striker goes forward.
That was not my bingo card, I will say. Yeah, no, they needed the yeah, no, even if they get bonus point, they do not get third seed. They did not get second seed. I wanted to check that real quick.
All right. Seems like they're just gonna
Striker
play it out normally.
Yeah, just normally playing it out, finishing the season on a regular race. FB immediately getting a TC, seems like trying to really pass it hard to Clyde. Bomb thrown up, not gonna connect onto JP here. Green thrown as well. Actually, might have been a red, might have been colorblind for a second, not exactly sure. Either way, Clyde is still playing really aggressive, trying to get JP out of first. Just playing for bragging rights at this point, but you would always take it regardless.
Ooh, and the blooper gets in the way.
Did the green connect onto Clyde, or was he forced around?
No,
he was.
There was a
fib.
fib. There was a fib.
Oh. Pretty unfortunate since now FB is in an amazing spot with triple greens, Shroom in second there, being able to be the quick. Oh, never mind. I disregard everything I said.
JC
Good pal on the
build
side.
into top 3, but a blue comes out. At least it's a box 4 for Clyde. It's trip greens only.
A little bit of Nana hit there, getting his little bits of fruit intake for the day. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for him, only getting passed by his teammates.
Dude, go to sleep. Go to sleep after this. This is... Wow.
Alright, buddy. Either way, pretty clean top 2 lead for the side of STS so far. Should stay that way for a little bit, seeing the track that we are on, unless Shock is pulled, but I do not see either bagger making strat, both of them respawning quite a bit. I would assume Striker is going for strat just for the sake of ego, or just for the sake of trying to get it at last. Not hear that.
What word were you trying to say there?
Ego was the word I was trying to say. Either way, triple shrooms pulled out by Clyde. Maybe we'll be able to pass FB by the end of this on the grass patches. I thought someone got hit off there, but never mind. There's just a little bit of lag. Nana off of the ramp there. Thankfully not doing much with that shroom being there for the ending. Another shroom being pulled, immediately used. Striker pulling the shock late. Not exactly sure if that makes a huge difference. Clyde not enjoying that shock too much, it seems, from the looks of it. It actually seems to be better for STS as we get top 2-4 for STS to finish it off. Great play by them. Finishing off the war with an 80 differential, I believe, something along the lines with that last top 2-4.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that means Striker lost 5,000 channel points off of this.
Don't rub it in. Channel points are like, go on. We can't rub in gambling losses like that. But to that point, I guess we can show
channel points off of this.
Go on. We can't rub in gambling. But to that results. Oh, I forgot if I transition like that. It's really bad.
Oh god. But yeah, no, the results of the season, as we mentioned, STS. Nope, the stream cut off.
Yeah, every time I do a transition, see that like, oh, it's just it kills the stream.
Okay, we are back. So as we stated, STS getting their perfect season, getting. Well, although some might question the not necessarily the validity of it, but the difficulty of it with 2 teams dropping, is still 8-0 going into the playoffs, playing really well over the course of the season, only having 1 really close match against EI, their first match winning by 2. But overall, great play by them. EI unfortunately not getting their second seed.
I think on screen you can just see who the winners are. I don't know if they're gonna show up on Twitch, but you can see who bet and who lost.
They do show up on Twitch.
Wow, King Roland, good job with the 4K win. Very proud.
I should have betted more. I was betting when it was a 53 times. I should have betted more. Either way, great play by both teams, and that ends up our season for the Division 4. So see you guys in playoffs for for a lot of the divisions. Clearly, not only Division 4. You can expect to see a lot more of me casting, or at least I hope so. And either way, GG's to both teams. GG's to every team in Division 4. And any closing remarks, Lawrence?
Thank you for watching. Be sure to catch us when we stream